Okay, start. You're on the line. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome here for the MEA Muslim Entrepreneurs Convention 2020 here in Pennsylvania at this beautiful campus of Marifa of 33 acres of land on the top of a mountain. I mean, we never could find a better place than that. I have Mr. Abdul Rahman with me. He's a great friend of mine and president of MEA, who has actually came forward with this idea, and then I just gave him a hand. And we have brother Jamil Ahmed, who has the best soul I've seen so far, who has put this place together. Look how beautiful, an amazing place where he bringing up startups to help in an Islamic way. And not only that, not only the mentorship, he also helping startups to get here and to help them get funds through his personal angel investments network. And this is exactly what we're going to do tomorrow. We have brilliant three startups in front of us, and some of them are joining. So we're going to have a mentorship sessions for them tomorrow, so that they are prepared for the future. So right this moment, I would like to ask Mr. Abdul very quickly that we put together this event within a month, and that was amazing this morning. Did you think about it that we will be able to help people? Because we've been planning for it all year. We have so many things in our roadmap, but that was really quick. That needs a lot of courage and a lot of things. So we pulled this together. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. The people that came, I feel like there's been a lot of collaborative ideas and talks that's been going on. My hope is that people can take away from this convention two things. One, that MEA is a network where you can come and feel, produce your ideas, have mentors that can help you expand it, and be able to build startups and meet founders. Second thing is that I really want people to also get from this is that as Muslims, you don't have to be scared or nervous to become an innovator or entrepreneur. You don't have to take the typical path of, as we, mostly is accustomed to us becoming a doctor, lawyer, or that type of profession. You can have the courage to take a risk in order to, change the world with your idea. So yeah, those are two things I would like people to take away from this. As far as this coming together, this was awesome. It was a short time that we had planning. However, we saw within our members and within our community that this fire, this drive of being an entrepreneur, of having ideas, of collaborating with each other, it's there. It's already there. All we're doing is just putting everybody together in a room with like-minded individuals and professionals to be able to network and collaborate. So, yep. And I want to do a huge thank you to Brother Jamil, who really helped us with this and allowed Marfa the residency to our members, and we look forward to our future collaborations. And we're both committed in building a global team of Muslim entrepreneurs. Brother Jamil said something very impactful earlier, that entrepreneurs affect millions of people, and as Muslims we have to do good in this world. And in order to do that, one of the best ways is being an entrepreneur that can provide millions of people happiness.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Thanks for your opinion. And I'm gonna go to Brother Zamil, and I'm gonna ask you, bro. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people actually come forward and help others too. But you have put together the entire Marifa campus, and we've been talking over last month while we were planning for this event that you have roadmaps coming up. You want to actually get those startups to come over here, and you want to mentor them throughout your programs that you are going to offer to build better startup. And you personally bring more investors. You want to make it a cadence of different events. So I would like to know more about it. And if you want to just tell us about this beautiful Marfa campus also.
Thank you, Ali. I'm really grateful for everyone who came here, especially to attend this event. One thing, while I was attending accelerator program, that was Ocean Accelerator, I learned a lot from them. And they proudly announced that this is a first faith-based accelerator. So firstly, they used to accept only Christian guys. Alhamdulillah, I was the first Muslim guy who got selected there. That was based on merit. You can say that it was not basically favoritism. There, one idea came. I started to work on that and found that where that part is missing in our Muslim community. There are a lot of great brains what we Muslim have, but they are not trained in a way that they can make their success story. While you are developing your entrepreneurship, always we focus on developing business, but we don't care about the legal aspect. We don't care about the financial aspect like accounting and all that stuff. And finally, what happened? There are loopholes, and we land in that loopholes. And our startup business idea was fantastic. You were solving a great problem, but you landed in an area where there's a failure. Uncle Sam's come behind you, and the game is over. That happened a lot with Muslim entrepreneurs. I observed that. So I thought, why not to work? Why not to bring basically develop an accelerator program for Muslim entrepreneurs? So that will be what we learn in 6 months. Why not to transfer that knowledge in a week to Muslim entrepreneurs? So they should learn, they should know very well, they should be well educated how to make their success story. They are already risk takers. Muslims, I see Muslim guys, they are risk taker guys. And this is the one basically good attribute of entrepreneur is risk taker. If he can't take risk, he cannot make successful. Understand one thing. You guys are sitting here in this pandemic. This is a risk. This is proving that we are risk takers basically. We move forward and we are making it happen. That is one thing. With that, now another important challenge is because these entrepreneurs need good teammates. They need good founders, co-founders with them, and for that reason, we are doing another event that will be Muslim Professional Summit. So what we are doing, that is what combination we are making. We are making basically firstly there will be 4 days accelerator program. Then that 4 days Muslim these Muslim entrepreneurs are being connected with Muslim professionals. So we are bringing people who are already, they are professionals, great mind, but their mindset is not entrepreneur mindset. They are job guys. They are CTO mindset, or you can say that just there is a one category. I'll not go into that. So they can't do their own business, but they can perform their job. They have money. They can do very well job. They are well managed people. So then connect these entrepreneurs with those founders. So by that will be a very strong team. And the plan is inshallah, in next 2 to 3 years, few unicorns from Muslim guys. And the reason behind that is one day my daughter asked a question from me, Baba. Always Muslim guys talk about when they have to give the example, they talk about Bill Gates, they talk about Steve Jobs, they talk about Warren Buffett. Why we don't have any single guy, single Muslim, which we are proud for as an entrepreneur. And inshallah, our target is people will talk about ship entry. People will talk about these startups who are sitting here. And inshallah, will make it happen. That is the inshallah target. And that will train in Marfa. Marfa, understand the logic of Marfa. Marfa is your. This organization, this whole setup belongs to you. You have to make it happen. If you'll be successful, Marfa is successful. That is, you guys are the badge of Marfa. And inshallah, by the grace of Allah, you guys will make it happen. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Brother Zamil, for letting us know about your upcoming roadmaps and about a little bit about this beautiful campus. I request all of you guys to go out and check Marifa, right? Marfa.org. It's a 33-acre property in Pennsylvania, and very good setup, like you said, that auditoriums and stuff like that. They have a very good setup for running exploration programs, and that's what Brother Zamil is saying that is coming up. So please definitely link us up. Now, I think I would like to, I think this is it, right? We let them know, and I'd like to invite our startups are here just to share a few of the words. You are on TV. This is also an opportunity to put yourself in front of people and let them know not only the startup plan you're doing, but also the great work, great efforts you're putting behind it. Real quick, in 3 minutes, right? Okay. So who'd like to go first?
Bring.
Please invite Alan.
Yeah, so first, we're gonna have Ship Pantry come up here, give their elevator speech. And successfully, it's founded by a Muslim woman, and even MEA Muslim Entrepreneur Association. Our first college chapter is founded by all Muslim women. So our women are our sisters, are our future. And with that, I'll hand it over to Anil, the CEO, founder of Ship Pantry.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for having us here. I would like to quickly, I guess, do our elevator pitch or share our story of Ship Pantry. So basically, Ship Pantry came about when I first realized, as a working Muslim woman, I realized that we have this huge gap in the market. We have Instacart, we have Amazon Fresh, we have a lot of different mainstream groceries, but when we go to ethnic stores, we don't have anything that a working professional can use. And that's when the idea came about that if we're working and we need groceries, there's nowhere we can go. We basically have to go online to Instacart or all these mainstream stores, but there's nothing that's specific to our ethnic community. There's no way to get halal meat, there's no way to get our groceries or our specific rice or whatever our specific masalas or spices that we use to cook. And that's when I thought, why not? Why don't we start a company where there's this huge gap of getting groceries to our ethnic community to their doorstep? And that's where we came up with the idea of Ship Pantry to close that huge gap that we have today to service our community and get products to their household because right now that doesn't exist. And right when we started off, the COVID pandemic hit. And it was a great opportunity for us because then we had so many Muslims, we have so many South Asian communities and so many South Asian families who were struggling at the time because they couldn't go out for whatever reason. They had kids, they had older parents, people with underlying conditions, and they were just relying on Ship Pantry to get the groceries delivered. And we had actually huge success with our customers. We had great feedback. Our customers were super happy because a service like this didn't exist before. So we kind of tested the waters and we thought, okay, it was almost like an MVP for us, but there's a huge gap. We realized there's a huge gap out there, and we only started off in New York, but we have people basically emailing us and contacting us from all over the states, asking if there's a way we can get groceries to their door. I mean, that's eventually the plan for Ship Pantry. But that's basically where it came about being, is like there is this huge market gap for our ethnic communities and nobody's serving that. So we thought Ship Pantry would be that service to our communities, and that's where the idea came from.
Awesome, great.
So then, you guys want to ask any question?
It sounds like perfect timing.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it worked out. Our plan was not to launch during COVID. Like we've been working on this idea for 2 years, and right after we launched is when the pandemic kind of like just broke loose. So it was like unintentional, but it just definitely made it a perfect time for us.
When you say launch, you mean app and website, or just?
We have a website. Yeah, we have processed over 700 orders. Yeah, so we have like a fully established website. We have like orders coming in. We have our contract drivers who do the deliveries for us. We have a packing team. So we are like a fully functional company. We're not just in an idea phase.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So what kind of like major roadblocks did you guys face right at the beginning? Because there was a unique idea, but obviously there will be some, cliche roadblocks. So can you just mention those out?
Sure. So I think from my perspective, honestly.
Mention the question first, so people.
Sure. So the question is that what are some of the roadblocks that we hit before launching? Because there are other competitors out there, right? So one of the, honestly, because right now we're just basically where we haven't done any funding yet or any funding rounds yet, so we haven't had the chance to, I guess, hit investor roadblocks. But it's just in terms of launching, I think one of the roadblock comes from internal thought process, and it's like, there's already like big giants out there, and who is going to use our service or who's going to even care about Ship Pantry? But I think the biggest thing is that you have to, like Brother Jamil had put, you have to trust in yourself and your ability, and you have to dream big. I think that was the biggest launch. The reason, like, I've been sitting on this idea for a while, and we always thought that, why would somebody want to come to Ship Pantry when you have like all these other giants? But then we realized that we're not launching another Instacart or another Amazon Fresh. We're launching something that doesn't exist today. So I think that's the belief in yourself is the biggest thing that you have to overcome.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So next, we're going to have Shot Khan, who's going to talk about the minority program.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shah Khan. I'm the president of the Minority Programmers. And this idea actually started. I was originally a global studies major at UVA, and I realized a lot of problems in society were because of well, that I could have coded, well, that I was lacking. I could have easily coded and fixed those problems. So I immediately transferred to JMU, the fast track to computer science program. And something I saw there that really troubled me is all full of white males. And you constantly see in the tech world, the biggest entrepreneurs are a bunch of white males, like they said. And I wanted that to change because I realized technology for a lot of us is the key to upward mobility. And inspiring minorities to program and to get into the tech space is the key to unlocking that wealth gap. So at the same time, I saw a lot of times computer scientists are introverts. They don't necessarily have the sense of community. At the same time, there was no network that existed where minorities could get together and program and learn. And in combination with that, as a college student, a lot of times we go to employers and we wouldn't have any projects to show for it. So how do I establish that sense of community, learn through projects, and then actually put other minorities in places where they can get professional development and then place them in jobs. And that's how we developed the Minority Programmers Association. So our plan is to develop projects through our plan is to develop projects through with a humanitarian focus, not just in the computer science field, but through interdisciplinary practices. Because all different majors, whether it's chemistry, whether it's engineering, whether it's mathematics, uses programming, and to bridge that gap to get that sense of community, but also have work to show for it.
All right, so perfect, thank you. So minority programs, basically projects for educating people, especially when people are in pandemic and people lost their job. I think this project can bring real value, helping people, getting them educated in various computer-focused courses, I would say. And then you said to bringing project so that they can get hands-on experience, sort of things like that. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Like again, especially now, because everyone's talking about diversity, lack of diversity, and they're talking about social issues in public. We can solve all those problems with tech solutions. We can basically code to like these systems that are in place. We can code them so that they're in our favor, and that's something that's overlooked. And again, all schools have diversity councils. They want to invest in diversity.
Have you done any projects yet?
We're working on a project called Red Phones right now, which should be basically it's the Spotify of academic lectures. That way, people with visual disabilities can listen to their academic curriculum on the go, and at the same time, people can start to listen to their lectures while they're walking or while they're in their car, and tap that into underutilized spaces. And again, using that university chapter model that we have and implementing lectures through that.
So you seem like pretty confident. So are you ready to pitch tomorrow in front of our big investor pools?
I'm definitely ready to pitch. Something that I care about more about than money though is building the sense of community, building this infrastructure of mentorship, getting programmers like the programmers in Ship Pantry, like becoming ally organizations. That's what I care about more because we need that community. We need people that care about advocacy in the tech space and minorities especially. Because I don't care about them. If we put this work, if we put this work ethic behind it, we're gonna expand and we're gonna the whole point is to be just like Mia. It's to put people in a position of power where they can manifest what they have in their mind into fruition. And that's all what we're about. So I'm excited about that.
Perfect, perfect. I'm really glad to hear that. This is where actually Mia is adding value to the community and society already. So I'm really proud and glad, and I wish you good luck for tomorrow's pitch competition. Okay. So. Right now, I'm going to call our next startup, Shopify Studio, and they are great because they are basically what do you call a creative work startup. That all the efforts done by these beautiful couple right here. Please have a seat. Do you want to join us? Yeah, why not? Well, first of all, thanks for traveling all the way from New York, and this is your first pitch competition that you're going to attend. Because, cool. When did you start the company, and why don't you just let people know the beautiful creative work that you do?
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure coming here because after coming here, I got some break from my work because I have been working constantly day and night since I started my business like 8 weeks ago. So, and it's a great honor to be in such a beautiful place. And from this morning, I have been absorbing all this knowledge and gathering from all these entrepreneurs around me, all these successful businessmen around me. So I'm the owner of Studio Akshapat LLC. I'm basically an architect. Design has been my passion since childhood. I have been creating and making stuff since childhood, and always people used to appreciate my stuff, and I thought of doing making money out of something I love doing. I love doing. I have a full-time job now, but still, whenever I get time, I design stuff and create something pretty. Uh, Basically, I create home decor stuff. All my designs are based on or inspired by my Bangladeshi heritage and my childhood happy memories. So what I do, it's not something a basic need like sheep pantry. It's such a unique idea. It's a basic need, but mine one is not a basic need, but it is something that makes you happy. I like to create beautiful stuff, and I like to I want people to have them in their home also, to make their surrounding pretty because a thing of beauty is a joy forever. I launched my shop around 8 weeks ago and with zero clients here because basically I to America, came back to America 8 months ago. I don't know much people over here. I didn't have much client base over here, but I started from zero clients. And Alhamdulillah, I'm getting clients every day. Every day I'm making sales. And each sales makes me more happy, more confident to
Eight
create.
weeks. You said eight
8 weeks,
weeks.
yeah.
Oh, that's a brand new startup. So thanks. Great. You've taken a great initiative. So how many items have you sold yet?
In my Etsy shop, right after today, I sold 80 items.
Nice.
80, and outside also we have been selling like those are not much, but some people are not comfortable paying through Etsy. They don't have account or they don't want to do that. So we have been selling
Right, but
outside of
then
Etsy
all
too.
these 18 products
More
that you
than
sold,
80, yeah, like
these are all made
almost
by
100.
you?
All
And you
made
guys?
by.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
I
amazing.
have a laser printing machine, so that helps me to materialize my idea. Like if I think something, I can make them instantly. Like I have to design in my computer, and it helped me a lot because I have the background in design.
Perfect.
So whenever I think of something, I can create it in design, and I just print it out in wood, in acrylic. So I cannot show you my stuff now, but you can
We
definitely
will
check it out.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
we'll put
check
it
it
back.
out in my Etsy shop, my Facebook page, and my Instagram page.
So what's the name of the Facebook page? We want to let everybody know, and then
So our company's name is Studio Afshafayat. So our Etsy shop is Studio Afshafayat LLC, and Instagram and Facebook handle is studio.afshafayat. Thank you.
thank you so much, guys, for being here. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Please check Studio Afterfire out and the beautiful work they do. Here, here's brother.
So when there is a tough time, and during tough time, if new idea comes and that idea is so strongful that can basically revolutionize the world. So that was basically one idea that attracted us. That was Mr. Shaban. He's a professionally he's becoming a doctor, and with that he launched that idea time back ago. A very creative idea. So let Shaban will explain about that. So Shaban is my student also, and he's working on that idea. Fantastic idea. Already website is launched. Already MVP is developed, and now they are looking for further. Basically, tomorrow the ask will be presented in the big competition. So better let Shaban should explain that. Shaban, please come and explain about your idea. So tell us what is time bank.
So hi, my name is Siobhan, and Time Banco it's a skill sharing platform, but everything in life is about rendering and receiving skills. We make money to get skills from an entrepreneur, a contractor, a landscaper, a teacher. The idea with Time Banco though is that we bring value to every human being. We bring value to every single person. Why? Everyone is unique. Everyone has a skill that's unique to that individual that they can share and give to another person. We all have something special about us, and through that we have value. The whole premise of Time Banco is that you're able to use that unique quality and aspect of who you are to receive and render services. For example, the best way to explain this, I feel, is if you take an example. If you had someone who, a college student, who has entered a liberal arts university and knows that she wants to do something big in her life, but is unaware of where her talents are best, what her experiences are. Through Time Banco, what she'll do is she'll go on this website, and over on this website is basically a place where you can offer and request service. While she's there, she happens to find a mother who's a graphic designer and entrepreneur, and she needs someone to go grocery shopping on her behalf. Her husband happens to be a medical physician. So this college student basically goes, offers her time to go grocery shopping for this woman. In return, what happens? She gets exposed to a medical doctor. She gets exposed to a graphic designer. So she's building a network. And in building this network, she's basically has an opportunity to have consulting sessions with someone who has a medical degree, with someone who has a master's in graphic design, and so forth. So indirectly, she's exposing herself to different venues and learning a lot. And the idea is that she's able to do this as a college student. Do you know many college students who have the proclivity to make money? Most have loans, most are in debt, and most are crippled from doing much. But this is an opportunity to give people who don't have that necessary avenue to make money on their own, give them a voice, give them some power, and give them some ability to do something. So a college student is one example, but this can apply to all people who are unable to make money for whatever reason, be it senior citizens, be it people who are younger, high school students. The scope is broad. But once again, the idea is that when you render services or you help someone else for the sake of helping, just from giving your time, something more is blossomed from there. And here is the secret of Time Banco. You build relationships. When you see someone working and you offer them a hand, you touch that person in a way that you can never imagine. Maybe you uplifted them. And this, I've noticed that it doesn't necessarily happen always when, rather, let's just say this, let's keep it positive, that when you give your time and receive time, and you're only doing it for the honor of service, relationships blossom, communities form, and you build a strong network of reliable, trustworthy people. And the idea with Time Banco, once again, is a time-sharing service where anyone and everyone can do this. And fortunately, with the internet we have now, imagine a neighborhood, a community that spans not just from Waynesboro to Hagerstown, not just Waynesboro to Virginia. We're talking Waynesboro to Cali. We're talking Waynesboro to Canada. We're talking from America to China. Why not? Why can't a kid in America who's good at calculus? Why can't this high school student tutor a young 10-year-old kid in India? Why does an Indian student, why do they have to pay thousands of dollars for American level education when there's college students here in America who could render that service for free? And then why not build real relationships engendered with community service and love? So that's the idea of Time Banco, and I suppose tomorrow we'll talk more about it.
Fantastic.
Sure, thank you, great thing that you explained. Thank you guys. Do you want to let them know the website so they can check it out?
I believe we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but Time Banco, Timebanco. So instead of bank with a K, it's bank with a C, and it's with an O at the end. Timebanco.com.
Thank you so much.
So as per my understanding, a little bit basically, if at evening I'm a doctor and I have free time, 1 hour, I love basically. There are some activities what I personally love. Professionally, I'm doctor, but I love singing. So if someone need my time as a singer, what I'll get as a return?
So you're to make sure I understand what you're to clarify the point. You're a doctor, but you also have a passion for singing. So rather than get compensation for being a physician, you are offering your services as a singer. So if he was to do that, and he happens to be he's a professional singer, there's someone who wants to get lessons in that, he can give his time in the evening to teach a skill that he genuinely loves. Perhaps being a physician is something he has to do because of circumstances. It's a means for him to bring capital to support his family and his friends and his initiatives. But what he really loves is singing. So as a person who's in that position, they get to follow their passion, they get the sense of fulfillment, and most importantly, they feel happy because they have something they truly believe in that makes them, that excites them. And what that does is when you truly get the avenue to do something that makes you happy, there's a certain spark, a positivity in you that is more contagious than COVID. And then a smile spreads. I see Ahmed smiling over here already. A smile could change the world because he starts smiling. Now you're smiling. Now you're smiling. So the person who is stuck in the 9 to 5, sometimes 12-hour work days, what they get is joy. What they get is happiness.
Fantastic. So it's a little bit secret. I'm opening that because Shaban already discussed it. So there is a one whole wallet system in that Time Bank of website. So when a doctor basically gives some time to someone, what happened automatically in his wallet, some credits as a coins got added, so he can use that credits later on whenever he needs someone else service. So example, the best example of that is you are young and you want to give back to society by helping elder people. Maybe they need groceries. So in other words, it's a competition of a ship entry. By that way, ship entry is doing for money and they are doing for free. So young guys, they can help basically people by bringing the groceries. That is best example. And while they are doing it automatically in their wallet, the credits are being added. And later on, what will happen if they will get ill, if they need someone help, automatically they can use that credits, they can use that bank for their services. So that is the basically concept. This is the basically financial model, monetization behind that. So Shaban, thank you very much for joining us, and we are very excited for listening more about Time Bango tomorrow in the pitch competition. So now I want to invite Mr. Danish about inspired Islamic content. So Mr. Danish will join us. So Danish basically he has a background in especially Johnson and Johnson. He worked in that. He owned his own business with that with sense of service model. Okay, so really excited to hear about his startup. What exactly he's doing.
Yes. And I don't know if you guys know it, but you guys are experiencing a miracle right now. I know Sheikh Jamil is very modest, very, very modest, but there's a lot of amazing speakers out there that talk about manifesting your reality. And what I'm going through right now, and I'm going to talk to you about, is basically a miracle. So I had this situation where my kids were getting exposed to like terrible things that are against Islam in school, starting from first grade. I mean, first grade, you're like excited, welcome to school, this is your start of everything, but instead they were told about some sexuality stuff and all this stuff, and I'm like, this is not good, it's inappropriate at this time. And I started realizing like we need a place where kids get exposed to appropriate things that are going to be positive and help them grow and become true believers, which is our goal for all our kids that we want. If you don't have any kids right now, eventually you will, God willing, and you're going to want the best for them. And that's what I wanted. But paying for a private school, I was not getting that. And that's for my daughter in first grade, and jump forward to my son in 11th grade right here. He went to a private school. I paid tons of money. And they said, beginning of senior year, they said, private school, a lot of money, okay, over $30,000 a year for the school, right? They said, don't expect your kids to get into MIT, don't expect them to get to Harvard, don't expect them to get into Penn. And I was just floored because I'm like, I'm paying you guys all this money to help my kids get to these top schools. It's a college preparatory school, and now you're telling me that they should not even have the expectation of getting into these schools. And not only that, we had two kids from China come, two girls come to stay with us as a homestay in ninth and 10th grade. And my son is very smart, very intelligent, and I'm sure you'll hear more from him later. But he was taking physics honors in 12th grade, right? Honors, like advanced honors physics, 12th grade, private school, top school. 9th grade Chinese student is enrolling in advanced physics, same class in 9th grade, right? So just imagine my just frustration. Not only are they saying he's not going to go to an Ivy League, most likely not, just get it out of his head that he's going to go to an Ivy League school. Not only that, but then these Chinese students are coming, and they're great kids, but they're 9th grade, they're in advanced physics. And I'm like, what is going on? And you guys, if you're in my boat, you'd say the same thing, man, I'm tossing all this money, this is the American education system, and this is what's happening. And I personally went through 4 different high schools. So I knew from Texas to Pennsylvania to private schools, I knew there was this learning gap, this kind of issue with like how things are taught, the level of the community, depending on when you are, it's totally backwards, right? So I have a lot of experience in that. And I started going to Sheikh Jamil when this stuff was happening. I'm like, Sheikh Jamil, like this is a year after meeting him. I'm like, we need to have a school for boys. It needs to be a boarding school so that kids get exposed on good behavior. They get taught like the best level education, because if these Chinese students can do it to their kids, if Chinese students can do it, there's no reason that our kids can't do it, right? There's absolutely no reason. You know, I was like, okay, Sheikh Jamil, we need this. And then within like 6 months, he's like, Danish, there's a property, 35 acres, check it out. It already has boarding dorm rooms. You guys have seen the facilities here. It has this, it has this. And I was like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy. And like, I have no resources. I don't have it. It was just an idea. I was like, we need this. The Muslim community needs this. But you guys, you know, your kids, young kids around here, you're gonna need it. Everybody's gonna need a place where they can go and get positive mentorship in Islam, positive mentorship in entrepreneurship, positive mentorship in academics. Like, we need to have that. We need to have that. And so it's a miracle that we're here today, and then that Muslim Entrepreneurship Association's here with you guys here with your great ideas is going to grow. And so basically, let me get to my idea. Sorry about the long-winded thing, but it's a miracle, and it's, you know, positive, the manifestation of positive thoughts and meeting positive people. So the idea is I'm working on basically a curriculum to have Islamic inspired content. So it'll be academic content, it'll also be spiritual content, Islamic content, that kids who now watch TV, you see all the cartoon shows. If you don't, there are a lot of shows out there that you guys don't know what they're teaching and what they are teaching, you know, on these shows, whether it's a TV show on Netflix, things on YouTube, that kind of there's too much out there for us to get a handle on. And there's no really, I would say, great westernized like content that can compete at the level of what you see for Disney or Netflix or on YouTube, really. It's just not there. And if it's there, it's like translated and it's like mistranslated and subtitles, and kids aren't interested. And then we're busy at work because there's this whole thing where both mother and father have to go to work to pay bills, to get the mortgage and the whole thing. So our school system is raising our kids. And then we send our kids to either an Islamic school, which we don't exactly sure what kind of Islam they're learning. We're hoping it's the best. And so the idea is if there's an environment here, at least the goal is to start creating content from, you know, first grade. Content started actually from the parents. So, hey parents, this is kind of how you should be. This is best practices as Islamic stuff. As a Muslim, this is what you should be, how you should be raising kids. And I don't know if you know, but in China, they're teaching kids at infant level. Like they can't walk, they're just barely opening their eyes, they're starting to teach them math because they realize that and you guys who are in medicine or doctors know that the brain is growing so fast, it's absorbing everything. So these Chinese, they're teaching their kids math 1, 2, 3 when the baby can't even talk or move. And I mean, we're taught that even like the child has a soul and you can talk to the baby even in the womb. And so in Islam, it's like there are these things there, but it's not captured or put into context of like studies. But there are things out there that I think even before you think of having a baby, what we can do as to understand what we need to do, how we need to behave. There's a lot of information out there from religious texts to spiritual Sufi texts on how we can behave to have the best kids, and then also when we do have kids, how we can behave. A lot of this content is there maybe in English, but it's not really in an Islamic context. So the goal is really to start creating a curriculum, creating material, whether it's math or spirituality, whether it's academics or behavior, using positivity, and kind of having a curriculum that, inshallah, we'll leverage it here at Marifa, but also other schools or folks. As a parent, you can subscribe to this content and learn from it and use it and help create positive kids who are able to handle a lot of the negative influences they'll get exposed to as they go through life or as they go in wherever they're at. So that's the idea, is to come up with Islamic inspired content, starting with education, starting with a curriculum, like a syllabus or curriculum. And so that's the idea, to start from there and then go into more things that are like TV shows, movies, blogs, and everything else.
Is there a website where people can look at?
There's no website right now. I'm starting to create the content, so I'm at the beginning stages right now.
Yeah. Perfect. So I'll just, as an easy example, basically, what is the value of content, basically, just as a learning lesson. So what happened, I'll mention one story. So my kids started watch Tom and Jerry. Everyone among us, basically, in our childhood, seen Tom and Jerry, okay? And then I brought up them in a way that they should love each other. And they started fight with each other. That was very for me. What happened? What change happened? What happened? What thing came in their life? Because in Tom and Jerry, always there is fight. So always mice has to deceive cat. Mice always has to beat cat. And my son, basically, he's 4 years younger than my daughter, so he started to beat his sister. So that was basically surprising. I said, man, what's happening? So this is the value of content. So this is the story of each and every house. So if we'll give quality content to our kids, then we'll make them visionary leaders. Otherwise, they'll be Tom and Jerry, and that's it. So thank you very much, Danish. Thank you very much, Shaban, for being here. And let's move forward.
Thank you. Perfect. We have heard two great ideas. The first one was, if I have skill, we all have a secondary skill. I'm an IT engineer, but I have a lot of other, I have other skills that I can actually give service for. And that was a great idea. I never thought about it. You can actually start selling those services, the secondary services. That was the first one, and the second one was amazing. Start teaching kids from when at the earliest possible by providing content, digitally developed content. Amazing. So with that, I'm just gonna invite one of our startup. You wanna, yeah. So I wanna have the next startup. The brother here, Asif. Asif. All right. Let's introduce your startup.
So, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Azib Manzoor. It's a very simple name, AZIB. And so I will tell you a bit about the company and what we came up with. Back in 2012, my father had this idea, and it kind of like resonates with what Mr. Jamil said, that whenever we think about someone huge in the industry, we always think about people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. And the one thing that we came across is that we realized that as a Muslim community, we're active buyers rather than active producers. And what that means is we're too hesitant, even though we have brilliant ideas, we are too hesitant to see the big picture when it comes to a product or a service. And I think, I don't know if anyone of you know about Careem, like we were discussing. It was a huge private taxi. It was just exactly like Uber, but it was huge in the South Asia community. And but over time, and Uber wasn't able to compete with it, but at the end, Uber gave them such a huge check that they were forced to kind of like sell Careem. And around that idea, my father came up with the fact that we should produce local IT products, IT services, and then go and take it to the West. And during this process, me, my friend, and my father, we came up with a simple operations management platform for the oil and inspection industry. And once we started with that, the same company was kind of like going through a digital transformation, and they wanted to automate everything from their revenue generation to their HR platform, and they were considering other platforms like Workday for HR, for their Salesforce for their revenue generation, lead generation. And we came up with the idea, why not bring everything into one platform? Why have 9 different vendors for 9 different things when you can have just one platform for everything? And that's what we created. We are basically Salesforce, Workday, Zoho, Jira, all of these online platforms in one single dashboard. And we start off in Pakistan. We have 4 companies already registered to our services. We went on to the UAE, and we're trying to penetrate the US market. And inshallah, one day you'll be hearing our name soon.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. We're full of startups today. Please give him a round of applause. Ready? Thank you. Thank you. Here's Abdul Rahman. We are just about to close our episode, and next we have is the mentorship. We actually want to mentor all these startups here. They are going to pitch in front of the angel investors tomorrow. So that's kind of next. Before we wrap it up, here is Abdul Rahman.
Yes, it was a great opportunity to hear from all of our startups and entrepreneurs. And now is really the time to not only have an idea, but meet with professionals and allow us and other members to help mentor your startup and grow. As Brother Jamil said, with the startup, investors look for a particular skill set. They look for very rigorous data, and they want to hear exactly what problem you're trying to solve, your monetization strategy, what your solution is, and what you're actually asking. And we want to be able to curtail all of our members that have startups to be in the best position. So when they do ask for funds, they're the top ones. They're the ones winning the competitions. They're the ones that everybody's talking about, and they're the ones that are building the future unicorns. So with that, we'll definitely start out our breakout session. Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody who's been watching us. Please do continue to support us. Join our Facebook group, MEA, Muslim Entrepreneurs Association. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and also check out this beautiful campus, Marifa Resident. Marifa.org. All right, see you soon. Thank you everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. So, no next session?
Yes. So